Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you are watching TTV News with some latest events in the province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, the for COVID-19 immunizations campaign was launched on September 28th in Chau. This time, the district had received almost 3,300 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines and nearly 1,300 doses of Pfizer vaccine.
In particular, the AstraZeneca vaccine is administered to unvaccinated anti-epidemic forces, teachers, pregnant women, and students preparing to enroll in pandemic-hit provinces. The Pfizer vaccine is administered to people over the age of 70 and those who have already received the first dose of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have had enough time to receive the second dose. As of September 27, 2021, the whole Chau district had a total of over 32,000 individuals who had been vaccinated against COVID-19 of all kinds, with almost 28,000 people receiving their first dose and over 4,300 receiving their second dose.
Facing the complicated development of COVID-19 pandemic, the Management Board of the Economic Zones has continued to remind and coordinate with other agencies to expect and guide companies in the prevention and control of the pandemic. During the 4 wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the outbreak has been found in 15 companies across the province, resulting in 776 infected cases, according to the decision of the Steering Committee for Disease Prevention and Control of District and Municipalities. 12 enterprises have been locked. Faced with this situation, the Economic Zones Management Board has strengthened the inspection and supervision of the pandemic prevention and control of enterprise in the area, as well as inspected the threat on the post reduction of enterprise in the direction of guided by the decision 2564 dated July 13, 2021. Of the Roles of People Committee, 159 companies, the majority of which are eligible to operate the sport. 159 companies, the majority of which are eligible to operate on the spot. On 7 businesses that are not eligible have been inspected and submitted to the Roles of People Committee for comments. To ensure the health of workers engaged in tree on the spot reduction, the Management Board of the Roles of Economic Zone has coordinated with health agency, People Committee of District and Town in the area to Economic Zone and Industrial Zone and other organizations to administer vaccination for employees with a total of 25,725 vaccinated workers.
According to a survey conducted by the Management Board of the Economic Zone by mid-September 2021, about 109,561 workers in the province were unable to work due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the number of these workers is expected to increase. There are almost 83,000 paid leavers, over 24,000 unpaid leavers, and over 2,400 persons who voluntarily quit their jobs to enjoy social insurance plans. During the complicated development of the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly when TayNinhTV imposed social distancing in accordance with Directive No. 16, several enterprises had no choice but to halt manufacturing and commercial operation, causing damage to industrial parks and economic zones. Workers must quit their jobs, making their life even more difficult. Meanwhile, foreign employees are permitted to enter Vietnam, but the quantity is still limited, posing management challenges for businesses.
Despite the numerous effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the province's budget income reaching over 7,500 billion Vietnam dong in the first 9 months of 2021, accounting for 71% of the forecast and 6.5% increase over the previous year. There are 6 out of 16 revenue that exceeded the projection by 75% or more. Furthermore, 10 out of 16 revenue fell behind schedule. Because the pandemic was successfully handled and had no direct influence in the first 6 months of the year, the economy expanded and increased gradually, and the budget revenue in the first 6 months exceeded 56% of the estimate. The average revenue is 9.4% of the each month. However, due to the severe impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in the third quarter of 2021, many enterprises in the store park and the sport processing zone had to stop production, delay production activity, and increase unemployment, which had a significant impact on budget revenue, which only collected 5.3% of the estimate on average each month.
Among the 19 criteria of the National Target Program on New Rural Development, communes that achieve the new rural standards must have 100% of schools at all levels, from preschool to secondary school, building facilities to meet national standards. TayNinhTV City has spent hundreds of billions of Vietnam dong over the last decade to newly build, repair, and renovate schools in accordance with the requirements of the National Target Program on New Rural Development. After 10 years of investment in building schools, TayNinhTV City now has 11 schools that are recognized as meeting national standards, including one school that meets national requirements at level 2, contributing to reaching the criteria number 5 in terms of schools in 3 communes of Thanh Tân, Tân Bình, and Bình Minh. TayNinhTV City began executing the National Target Program on New Rural Development in 2011, period 2010-2020. The evaluation identified on 11 schools in 3 communes designated for new rural construction, including Thanh Tân, Tân Bình, and Bình Minh, that need to be freshly built, repaired, or improved to meet national standards. With limited resources, the city had no choice but to come up with a solution to newly build and refurbish all 11 schools in 2 stages. From 2011 to 2015, 65 billion Vietnam dong was invested to establish 5 new schools that met national standards. From 2016 to 2020, almost 40 billion Vietnam dong was invested to improve 4 additional schools that met national standards, simultaneously repairing facilities and constructing extra items of 18 classrooms and 14 function spaces at 2 schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, standing and maintaining the green zone while limiting the red zones is a collaborative endeavor on the part of district, town, and TayNinhTV City. Department, ranges, and locality are promoting the evaluation movement to establish, protect, and replicate green zones. Urgently implement drastic measures to prevent and control the COVID-19 pandemic in the direction of the encircling, narrowing, and radially eradicating the red zone, very high risk level, orange zones, high risk level, yellow zone, risk level, to bring them into green zone. After almost 3 weeks, the People Committee of TayNinhTV Province released official letter number 3078 on modifying steps to prevent and control the COVID-19 pandemic in the province based on each level of the pandemic. The green zone becomes lighter and lighter with each passing day. The yellow, orange, and red zone are steadily shrinking. This is regarded as a promising indication in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. I believe the job has been nicely executed. Observing the hamlet and commune chief at work with great care, I observed that individuals believe in their community anti-epidemic efforts. The pandemic levels in an area is defined by the scope of hamlet and neighborhood, which are categorized on regular basis by the People's Committee of District, Town, and City, or when new epidemiological variables emerge. Area can be entered and changed as the pandemic scenario evolves. The district-level People Committee should direct the execution of appropriate and effective measures COVID-19 prevention and control based on the danger zone at the moment. Simultaneously concentrate on analyzing and identifying danger and concerns that are still confined to the development and reservation of risk area. Through the screening by the District Steering Committee, the Commune Steering Committee, the commune is now recognized as a green zone commune with all 5 hamlets. With that result, in the past time, the Commune Committee and authority have focused on leading and directing measures to protect green area, we have propaganda to the people.
để thực
Thereby,
hiện
the people
bảo vệ được
cooperate
cái
very
vùng xanh.
well.
Chúng tôi đã tuyên truyền sâu rộng đến người dân.
Having faced typical and fire sickness caused by COVID-19, no one wants green color in their area to fade. Therefore, many shops and restaurants that are allowed to reopen are still cautioned and comply with epidemic prevention measures. People seriously had to fight K. We're doing fantastic job and concentrating our screening on the red, orange, yellow, and green zone. The green zone in our region is now attempting to separate FO and suspected patients from the population, always try to return to normal as quickly as possible. Never before have individuals paid as much attention to their neighborhood maps as they do now. With the province policy, reserve green space, manage and regulate the remaining zones in the prevention and management of the COVID-19 pandemic and socio-economic development. District, town, city, and people all work together to implement flexible and synchronous solution aimed at protecting and expanding the province safe zone. The province will continue to work on zoning and identifying regions at high risk from the infectious disease in order to focus on tracing, testing, and screening in order to quickly isolate FO from the population. To prevent the spread of the disease from one location to another, a medical isolation area is set up. Simultaneously, we will continue encourage the execution of the vaccination plan in accordance with the plan outlined in the spirit of striving by the end of the year. We will carry out basic immunization for 95% of persons 18 years of age and older, contribute to development of immunity in the local community as soon as possible, in conjunction with other measures to return life to normal as soon as possible. TayNinh's green zone has been rotated by several communes and municipalities, complying with the epidemic prevention and control procedure, as well as not being needful and subjective at this time. Is critical to the safety of the community in order to repair the COVID-19 pandemic as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.